My name is Kieran, I'm 26 and I have a condition known as PTSD or post-traumatic stress disorder. And PTSD is a really difficult condition to live with. And what this condition brings me is a constant fear which follows me everywhere, all the time, whether I'm awake, whether I'm asleep. And every moment can feel like the end of time. It can feel like death. It can feel hopeless. And on top of having post-traumatic stress disorder, I also take seizures when the stress gets too high. And basically what happens is I panic and I hyperventilate and I don't get enough oxygen into my body, and my brain essentially shuts down for a couple of minutes and boots back up, and in the time of when it shuts down to boots back up, I take a seizure. So on top of the constant fear that is always there, there's also the threat that I can take a seizure at any moment or any time. I can fall down, I can smack my head and bust it open, etc, etc. And I can't say that I have what would be considered a normal life. And it's certainly not what would be considered an ideal life. I was never able to finish school. I was never able to really go to college like everybody else. I've never been able to work, at least not for any prolonged length of time. And probably the hardest part of it all is that there are very few people out there that actually understand what this condition is like, to truly understand how it feels. And it can be a very lonely place, very lonely place. And I've never had problems with finding friends or finding a partner, but maintaining friendships, maintaining relationships, maintaining family relationships, for me is an extremely difficult thing to do. And has always been an extremely difficult thing to do. Some days simply getting out of bed is too much. Getting up to have breakfast can't be done. Going around to the shop for a pint of milk can't be done. Getting on a bus on my own can't be done. Walking halfway up the road on my own can't be done. And when you come to a place where you feel that nobody understands, where you feel that nobody can help you, you reach a point where you just don't want to live anymore. You don't want to be here because there is nothing here for you. Yet at the same time, you don't want to die because death terrifies you. But eventually, death seems to be the only option there is, the only escape, the only way out. When you reach that state of hopelessness, and you're too afraid to die, no matter how much you may want to, you find an escape. And for me, alcohol was my number one escape from a very young age. And every opportunity I could get, and every opportunity I could take, I would drink, and I would drink, and I would drink myself blind. And as I got older, drugs came along. And of course, they could be mixed with the alcohol. And I could go deeper into oblivion. I got to a stage where I ended up in psychiatric hospital for 5 weeks. After years of seeing doctors and psychiatrists and psychologists and being on this medication and that medication, nothing worked. And nothing ever got down to the bottom of what was really going on. Nobody had even considered that I may have post-traumatic stress disorder. For years I was told I just had general anxiety. And then it became agoraphobia. And now we know it's PTSD. I've been in suicidal states many times. Many times. And I've made an attempt or two as well in my time. But for whatever reason, the last time I ended up in a suicidal state, everything changed. Everything changed. I was so low and so afraid to die, and something in me just said, we're going to get out of this. And something told me that this was my last chance to get out of this, to find some healing, to find some recovery, to find some semblance of a life. And that's exactly what has happened. And I can't tell anyone to try this or try that or do this or do that. I can only tell my own story, and I can only speak my own experience. For me, it was all about finding my passion. It was all about going back to my heart, listening to my heart, and doing the things that my heart was suggesting to me. I love music. I've always loved music. So I started to sing. And not just sing, but really sing. Sing straight through the heart. I started to get creative. I started to draw. I started to write music. I started to write poetry. Many things that I never thought that I would really do. And the more I sang, and the more I played, and the more I created, the more I started to heal. The pain slowly but surely started to subside. The fear slowly but surely started to subside. And my vision started to get clearer. My hearing started to get clearer. My voice started to get stronger. Movement started to get sharper. I started to realize that all these things my head was telling me, that I wasn't good enough, that nobody would love me, that I didn't have and never would have the skills to live a comfortable, happy life. started to realise that these were just lies in my head. And that they had always been lies in my head. And that they always will be lies in my head. And I fight with these lies all the time. But I always win now. Even if it takes a day or a week to win that battle, I always win. And some days it kills me, some days it takes all of my energy and leaves me with nothing, but I still win. And every battle won is another day stronger. And every day I get stronger, the light which surrounds me shines deeper and deeper into my heart. And when I allow that shine, I allow that light to shine further and further out from my heart. Because this is all about returning home, right to your central space, right to your passion, right to your love, right to your grace.